She was the first African-American female combat pilot in the U.S. Armed Forces. As a professional speaker and expert on creating breakthroughs in life, she goes by the name of Flygirl.
I served in the Marine Corps, leader of Marines, combat pilot, flew Cobras, AH-1 Whiskey Super Cobra attack helicopters, and ended up deploying twice to Iraq. Since leaving the military, the one piece of advice that I would give a transitioning veteran, especially a woman, is take a little time for yourself. What do you really want? Before you just take off that uniform and go jump into the corporate job. And this is, if you can, give yourself a little bit of time because it is a transition. What do you really want out of life? And what type of career path or entrepreneurial path will help you achieve the life goals and dreams that you truly desire? I don't feel like I was at the detriment of any stereotypes, being a veteran or being a woman, in transition. I knew I'd wanted to get out for several years, and I was waiting for the sign, right? And I was walking down the hall, and a couple women saw me from an earlier session. They're just like, "Oh my God, we're so inspired. We're all going for our plan A." And I was thinking, that's great. Well, I said that's great out loud, but in my mind, I was thinking, I inspired them to go for their plan A, and I'm not even going for mine. And I knew I wanted to be a professional speaker. So in that moment, I said, all right, I'm getting out. And I went around the conference telling everybody I was getting out. Now, there were Marines there, a huge contingent of corporate America, like 2,500 people. But I wouldn't recommend that exit strategy to everyone. The skills I personally needed to learn and or master, get very good at, were basic business skills. Because I was a cop before getting in the military, a Marine, a combat pilot. I didn't know anything about business, profit and loss statement, marketing, sales. I didn't know anything about all that. So it was a very, very, very sharp learning curve. To step up in leadership and do some of the things that I see these women veterans trying to do, you're absolutely going to need confidence. I was bullied as a little kid. I was a welcome mat. When I first became a police officer, I'd grown a little bit in confidence because I'd already been in the Army, the Reserves, ROTC, now I'm a police officer, I'd been through academy. So I had skill, which gave me the confidence to go out there and execute. But I still remember the first time my training officer said, okay, go over there and arrest that guy. And I was thinking, okay, I couldn't just go up and say, excuse me, could you turn around, put your arm, so I really had to fake it before I became it. Turn around, put your arms behind your back. That didn't feel like me, but I also knew I had to step up with a different command presence, right? So the main characteristic or attribute that the police department and law enforcement, and especially the Marine Corps, holding your own, male-dominated, only woman in my squadron that flew Cobras, attack helicopters, the only woman that all the men in my squadron had ever flown with, you had to be able to hold your own. So there are two chunks of encouragement and advice I would love to give to women in transition right now. And this would go whether it's military or anything, right? You're getting divorced and you're at transition there. How do we transition? Number one, create your flight plan. Where are you? Where do you want to be? The most important point here is do not think about the how. What's the real vision? What do you really want? Step two is pre-flight. As a pilot, I'm going out there, I'm pre-flighting before the flight, looking at my aircraft. What's going to help me take off, have a successful mission, and come back? So mitigating the risks, the pros and cons, because the biggest thing is going to be our fear and not doing something, right, because of the fear. It's really the fear of the unknown. So if we get all our fears out, they're not unknown anymore. Then take off. Then execute, step 4. Finally, step 5. Review, recharge, reattack. Review your successes and your failures. Recharge emotionally, physically, and intellectually. And finally, reattack. Because there are only 2 ways to succeed. That's it. Done. The first time or again. Your gutsy move. What's your gutsy move? In your gut, you know it's right, but it takes guts to do it. I've been out a little over 10 years now. I had 6 years to go to get a reserve retirement. The best thing in the world I could have done was listen to my gut and live my purpose on the planet, not someone else's plan, my plan. The gutsy move. Give yourself that permission to engage with courage, power, and grit, and make your gutsy move.